Greetings, dear friends, dear Mother Earth, Father Sun, all awakened ones, all teachers of all space and time. It is a privilege to be alive in this moment. And I'm in the process of celebrating Vesak, the birth of Shakyamuni Buddha, or actually the birth of Siddhartha Gautama in the Shakya clan, almost 2,600 years ago, who followed his heart, his intuition that there is something that people are not telling me. There are something that are hidden from people's vision. We don't see clearly who we are, what life is about, what is important. So he left his comfortable life at the age of 29 to discover what this is about. And studying with different teachers of his time. It was a time of a lot of spirituality in India. Many teachers, and he in short times mastered what the master mastered and realized this is not it. I'm not liberated. I know I can be liberated from suffering and I can understand suffering, but didn't see clearly the path, and so continued on his own. And in trial and error, realize that there is a middle path that is not caught in duality, that is not caught in extremes of sense indulgence and sensual pleasures, or austerities of being scarce, being harsh on the body, of enduring. So already the middle path opens up a whole valley of life, of potential for us. And so under the Bodhi tree in what is now called Bodh Gaya in India, Siddhartha awakened to life. His Buddha nature come to fruition. Understanding and love blossomed. And so for me, celebrating Vesak is to come in contact with this potential, this deep longing of wanting to know, wanting to be in touch, wanting to experience for myself love and wisdom. When I first came to Plum Village in 2002, there was a Vesak celebration just a couple of days after I arrived. And I had a bit of, I want to say suspicion or resistance to organized religion in my mind. Having a sense that spirituality is important, of love and insight is important. But having seen so many examples and lived through times when organized religion had been dogmatic, not alive, not clearly seeing, not full of love and care, I was a little bit hesitant. I stood at the back of the Vesak celebration, and the monks and nuns had their orangey Sangati robes on and chanted the name of Shakyamuni Buddha in Vietnamese. And there was a little statue of the baby Buddha. And everyone came up one by one to have a scoop of water with petals, flower petals, and kind of baptized the baby Buddha. Nice combination of traditions. And I stood at the back, and it's like, no, I don't want to be part of this. I'm not gonna do this. And then an older brother saw me, and he came up, he whispered in my ear, and he expressed to me what was happening. He unpacked the gift. I couldn't see the gift because of its wrapping, of the ceremonial robes, of bells, of chanting in a language I did not understand, the form I was not familiar with. And he was sharing with me how we recognize the potential of a Buddha in a newborn baby. That the Buddha nature is innate, is within us, is accessible to us at any point in time, anywhere. And that we celebrate this day both to remember Siddhartha, Shakyamuni Buddha, but also to nourish and to water the seed of awakening within our own mind, within our own heart and consciousness. And in me, there was like, I want to be next. So that is a precious example of what skillfulness can offer to understand a person and to help to transform the situation. And so slowly over time, or quite quickly, but over time, my understanding of the form grew, and my respect of the form grew into reverence. It's like, okay. The form of this practice, it helps protect and safeguard, be a vessel for the content. So the cell has a membrane to be able to be an operating cell. The seed has a shell, and at a certain point it's time to crack that shell for sprouting. But there's also a time when the shell of the seed is very helpful. So this is a time of sprouting, of growth, of flowering, of realizing what has not yet been realized, of overcoming restrictions in our heart. So Vesak and the birth of the baby Buddha, the birth of Prince Siddhartha, who had this deep longing for realization, who show us the way, the middle way, who show us the inside of non-self and codependent arising. What has in later generation been called emptiness, what Thai my teacher talks about as interbeing. That I am here because the earth is here, the sun is here, my parents are here. I am here manifesting in this moment because you are there. And it is a precious time with this full moon, a super full moon. A lot of energy. I feel like a lot of connection to the cosmos. And not just the Buddha, but also Jesus has been very present with me. The love and the clarity, the light of Jesus as a shining example. The Buddha is expressed as someone who shows us the way in this life. And life here is not dependent and limited to birth and death. We cannot define ourselves by a birth and a death certificate. We are life without boundaries. We are part of an intrinsical web of life where we depend on each other, where we arise together. So let this be a celebration of the heart, where we celebrate the courage, the clarity, the endurance of Siddhartha coming to fruition under the Bodhi tree, the Buddha, the awakened one, who has compassionately taught for 45 years, continued to practice and teach for 45 years in the physical realm of that manifestation to show us a path. A dear friend and a monastic brother, Taifab, who was a Catholic priest in his youth and continued to love Jesus and read about Christianity in a vital and real way that also inspired me and helped to guide me through reading material and so on Jesus and what really Jesus taught and lived. And he's saying Jesus, he didn't have much time to teach, to offer his message, to help people train. It's a wonderful example showing the way of light and clarity and love. But for me, being a disciple and a student of Jesus and the Buddha and Thai in particular as my ordination teacher and teacher in this life, is showing the way and how to come in contact with my Buddha nature, recognizing the Buddha in me, having someone look at you and see the potential and the fruition of Buddhahood in you. What a gift. But also helping to bring light to the limitations in the way the shell is still keeping you confined, limited. That is the gift of my teacher, which continues throughout space and time. And so this week, to celebrate our Buddha nature, to celebrate Siddhartha, Gautama, Shakyamuni Buddha, but to celebrate all awakened ones, all embodied, loving beings who are near or far away, already born or not yet born, who are visible or not visible, and not let us be caught up in the emotions of the majority. This is a part of a very powerful statement in the teachings on love, the discourse on love that the Buddha offered. Not to be caught in the emotions of the majority. Our worry, our fear, our restrictions, our wanting to protect a little sphere at the expense of life, it's not gonna help. So to touch and be in contact, to nourish what is most important, what will liberate us, what will help us to live a collective awakening. I sometimes talk about the next Buddha be the Buddha of love, Maitreya Buddha, as a community, not an individual, but manifesting as a collective. You want to be in? It's a choice, moment to moment, huh? Is that what we're here for? Or are we letting the emotions of the majority wrap us up and close us in our little shell? So choose wisely, my friend. Love and insight is always available for us, and we're not alone. You're not alone. So happy Vesak.